So we all want to be liked, right? We want people to respect us. But what if I told you there are these tiny, kind of illegal social habits that you might be doing every single day, and they are absolutely wrecking your reputation behind your back?
And this quote just nails it. We're talking about these invisible rules of the road for social interaction. Now, breaking them won't get you arrested, obviously, but they can for sure land you in a kind of social solitary confinement. It's all about those little things you do that just make other people feel, well, a little weird.
So, I gotta ask, are you a social outlaw? Let's figure it out, because by the time we're done here, you're not just gonna see these habits in other people, you're gonna have a mirror to see if you're doing them too.
Okay, so first, let's get our heads around these invisible social laws. You can think of them like the unwritten terms and conditions of just being around other people. We all feel them, but we hardly ever talk about them.
Yeah, every single day we're operating under these unspoken social contracts, and really they all boil down to mutual respect. So when you break one, even if you don't mean to, it sends a signal. It tells people you might not be trustworthy or considerate. And what happens then? Well, trust goes right out the window.
So to really understand the crime, we need to get a few key ideas straight. Let's break down the three main concepts that are behind pretty much every social slip-up you can make.
First up, we've got unauthorized access. Honestly, just think of this as social trespassing. It's when you barge into someone's personal space, or their private info, or even just their attention without any kind of permission.
Next on the list is selective self-presentation. This one's like a form of social fraud. It's when you carefully craft this fake or misleading version of yourself just to get something you want. Maybe it's pity, or admiration, or some other kind of leg up.
And finally, privacy orientation. Oh, this is a big one. See, everyone has a different boundary for what they're comfortable sharing. And when you cross that line, you're not just being nosy, you are fundamentally breaking their trust. It's a huge deal.
All right, you ready? We've got our legal framework down. Now it's time for the main event, the 7 social felonies. We're going to count down the absolute most common habits that can just tank a reputation. Let's start with number 7.
Kicking off our countdown at number 7 is a crime of subtle manipulation that I guarantee you've seen all over your social media feeds.
Yep, it's the vague book post. You know the one. Some people just don't get it. Or having the worst day ever. This is selective self-presentation in its purest form. The real goal isn't to share what's wrong. It's to bait people. It's a passive-aggressive demand for attention that, let's be honest, just makes you look a little childish. Coming in at number 6 is a classic crime of unauthorized access that happens right out in the open.
It's digital eavesdropping. And you know exactly what this is. It's that casual glance over someone's shoulder to read their texts, or peeking at their laptop screen on the bus. This is a crystal clear violation. You're stealing a look into their private world, and that just shatters trust in an instant.
All right, we're at number 5. This social crime is all about hijacking the conversation and stealing the spotlight.
The one-upper. That person who just cannot let you have a single moment. You share some good news and bam, they've got to top it with something even better. They're not listening to you. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. They turn your story into a stage for their own ego.
And you can see the difference so clearly here. When you share something, it builds a connection. It validates the other person. But one-upping, it totally devalues them. It turns a moment that could have been about bonding into a stupid competition.
The crimes are definitely getting more serious now. Coming in at number 4, we have a really sneaky, really damaging form of social fraud. It's gossip disguised as concern. This is when someone shares some juicy negative info about someone else, but they wrap it up in this package of fake worry. It's their way of getting to gossip without looking like a bad person, but trust me, everybody sees right through that act.
And here's the playbook, broken down. It always starts with the hook, that little bit of fake concern. Then they present the gossip as their evidence, and they wrap it all up with a verdict that makes them sound like such a caring friend, but really, the only goal was to spread the dirt.
We are officially in the top 3 now, and the felony at number 3 is a massive boundary violation that makes absolutely everyone feel awkward. It's oversharing with strangers. This is where you dump way too much personal information on someone you barely know. You're basically forcing a level of intimacy on them that they never signed up for, and it is incredibly uncomfortable. You know, relationships have to be built up over time.
You can't just skip all the steps and drop your life story on the barista.
All right, the runner-up, the silver medal for the most reputation-destroying social habit. At number 2, we have what is probably the most common form of unauthorized access on the planet.
Giving unsolicited advice. Ugh, you know that phrase. When someone is just trying to vent, most of the time, they want a sympathetic ear, not a 5-point plan. When you jump in with what they should do, you're not helping. You're basically saying you're not smart enough to figure this out on your own. You're trespassing on their ability to solve their own problems.
And here we are. The moment you've been waiting for. The number one, most cringeworthy, most reputation-destroying, illegal social habit is the humble brag. I'm just so tired from my 3-week vacation in Tuscany. This is the absolute peak of selective self-presentation. It's a brag wrapped in a complaint, and people hate it because it's so transparently fake. You're not just showing off. You're trying and failing to hide the fact that you're showing off. It just screams inauthenticity. So there you have it, the 7 social felonies. And now it's time for the final verdict. Because here's the thing you have to remember. When it comes to your reputation, what you meant to do doesn't matter nearly as much as how it made other people feel. This chart says it all, really. We'll call it the reputation gap. On one side, you have your intention, which is probably harmless. You're thinking, I didn't mean anything by it. But on the other side, you have their interpretation. They're thinking, wow, that person is so annoying or so arrogant. And your reputation? It's built entirely on their interpretation, not your intent. At the end of the day, being a person that others want to be around isn't about perfectly avoiding every mistake. It's just about being aware. It's about thinking about how your actions actually land with other people. So the question isn't really about whether you're guilty or innocent. It's simpler than that. Now that you know the laws, who will you choose to be?